Hello, I'm back. What am I doing here? So, for context, my account has been in what I call stasis throughout the entirety of the Silent Salt and White Lily updates. I did my weekly 18 guild hits, maybe a few events here and there, but aside from that, basically didn't play the game. So, sure, I was amassing resources, but I haven't actually progressed my account until today. We'll be documenting about a week's worth of progress starting from today and see how far I can push my account after breaking out of stasis, effectively. So starting off with the first day, my first priority is uncapping all of my capped resources. Things like juicy jellies, arena tickets, but we'll get to that later, bounties, and the Half Pavilion entries because they're just free resources that I'm completely wasting if they're capped. A bit of fun math, the average amount of radiance you get from a hard mode clear on BCs above chapter 3 is about 1.225. So if your juicy jellies are capped, then you're not generating a juicy jelly every 12 minutes. So you're effectively losing out on about 1 radiant every 2 hours for literally no reason. Unless you're hoarding for the Giga Bell combo, but that's a topic for another video. On a side note, I did get Dawnbringer White Lily off of a 90 pity pull, I believe. So, got lucky there, definitely got bailed out, but at the same time, Awakened Ancients are actually pretty easy to get. I just need 10 soul cores from somewhere, and then BCs can handle the rest. And my next priority is making sure that my gnomes are always working, since Kingdom progression and lab progression are just permanent pieces of account-wide progression, and you're not really making progress on that if your gnomes aren't working. Oh, and my next priority is very, very important. It's making sure that the flow of Mind Ventures giving me mine cards and actually using up the mine cards is actually flowing, because currently all of my mine cards have expired and I have a garbage selection of mine cards. So always remember to put Ginger Brave, Adventure, Charcoal, and Butter Roll on break time or on your actual ventures. But anyway, it is time to bring out my favorite bit of Mind Venture type, which is the just use 1 express ticket on a full team of plus venture skill cookies. And if you have enough card upgrades, then you can reach level 10 consistently, which will give you 2 Orvane cards. And then because of the increased reward from your mind card upgrades, that rounds up to 3 Orvane cards. So you're getting 3 cards for every 1 ticket, and it's so much more efficient than, say, 16 or 17 tickets for a full 12-hour run. So this gives me a lot of choice for Orvane cards until I actually start cycling my Orvane cards through actual 8 and 12-hour runs. And with that, I actually have a decent pool of Orvane cards, and I've decided to do a lot of just useful 6-hour cards because I have a part-time job, so I won't be available for like the next 4 hours, and once that's done, I can just claim all of my Orvane cards and then get a new bag for potentially the 12 or 24-hour ones. That's also how I plan my gnomes. I just think, will I be available when the gnomes finish working? And can I instantly get them working on another thing? If no, then I'll pick something else to upgrade. I'm gonna eventually max out everything anyway. And then up next we have the Tree of Wishes. I need the aurora materials, I need the radiant shards, and I will need the coins because I'm gonna work on my guild boss teams, and every time I do that, boom, 20 million coins gone. And then every time I use my team presets, that's like 1 million coins as well. And also don't forget the Trade Harbor, by far one of the best ways of converting Kingdom progression into Cookie progression. And there's also the Seaside and Coin markets. For the Seaside markets, I just buy out the skill powder conversions because they are technically a way of converting lower tier powders to higher powders. And then I just buy whatever I think will be good, especially stuff like milk, cotton candy, for things I have excess of, like biscuit flours. Meanwhile, for the coin market, I just go for whatever I have less than 20 of, and then always go for smithy resources as well because I'm gonna need tons of them always. But now let's get back to actually dumping all the stamina. I'm trying to farm up all the relevant epic cookie soul cores, so like prune juice, black lemonade, filled jellyfish. And then to dump my juicy jellies, I did my menaces, and then I'm going for the first clears for chapter 12 of BCs. Just slapped up some Burning Spice Fire Spirit comp. This is a really easy way of clearing BCs without any thought. And then I tried to do the events. There's a lot of events, so I didn't really go through all of it, but I tried my best. There's the chest of trophies, which is a nice amount of resources, and then the secret garden, especially the 11 and 12 rewards. And then doing some last minute shopping with guild, I go for the amber, the beast soul stones, the non-awakened ancient soul stones, because I find that people are maxing out their awakened ancients faster than everything else for high rarity cookies, so I'm just gonna skip on that. And then bought all of the cutters and crystals, and that's about it for my buying priority on the guild shop. This week is just an exception because I have a lot of extra guild medals. But the most important reason why I'm here is that I get to cash in all of the guild torches that I haven't pulled. This is about 3 weeks worth. I have about 1.9 million at the moment. And yes, you heard that right, that's only 3 weeks, that wasn't the full 6-week break worth of torches. You can see why guild is the most important game mode. So this is gonna give me a big leg up from the mileage, but also the aurora materials, which I was running really low on, and also the time skips and the topping pieces, and yeah, guild is very, very good. Using those guild resources, I went on a bit of a topping upgrade spree, mainly for guild, but also every game mode uses toppings. My current priority is upgrading my guild teams because it doesn't directly contribute to progression, but also I've been slacking in my improvements in guild, and I feel kind of bad for that. Even though I am not the lowest damage in my guild, it just feels like I'm leaking a bit. The way I go about with toppings is that I upgrade everything to +6 first, and then I go for the ones with a good substat with a high roll, and then upgrade that to +9, and then if it has an acceptable roll, I take it to +12. And also, because I have the aurora materials now, I can finally upgrade my statue. I've been bottlenecked on this for so long. Oh my god, since I stopped playing the game, I don't spend aurora materials on labs, so I actually have a backlog from guild to do this. Finally! Moving on now, after about 10-20 minutes of gearing, I can finally start doing practice runs on AOD. I am trying to figure out my own timings since I don't think there are specific timings for each mint, attack speed, cooldown, breakpoint. But for context, I was going from about 7.2 to 7.4 billion on the super high end before this, and now, with proper timing, 7.6, that's not too bad. But then I just remembered a really easy way of increasing my damage. Labs. Especially with the time skip, so I can get through a lot of upgrades super quickly. Granted, I did forget to claim a lab bell from the town square. Please don't forget to do that if you're gonna be time skipping a lot of lab stuff. So I guess I should talk about my AOD run. I'm just trying to tune my timing so that Min Kyoko casts just before the second silence. So we have maximum uptime of the double stack Min Kyoko, like that, on the main source of damage, which is Creme Brulee's third Accelerando stack. Afterwards, it's just spam cast Palm at like 31 and 16 on the timer, standard AOD stuff. And with all of that, we can get a score of about 7.8, 7.9 billion, so it's time to start doing actual runs. 400 to 600 million increase in just a week is not too shabby. And then we have to optimize the RVD. I hate this. RVD is just such a mess, but first I need to fix up my Shadow Milk Biscuit. I don't want to do this because I don't have a Radiant discount bell on, but hey, 6% is pretty good. Got a bunch of resonant toppings, then fixed a few more of my builds. I was at about like 11.8, 12 billion before this, so after the changes I'm at, you know what, screw this boss, 400 million is 400 million. And that's my score for the week. And now I just need to finish up a few loose ends. I did return to the game at the very tail end of the White Lily update, so I'm just doing Beast Raid for the rankings. Obviously I can't clear, probably even Master, because Silent Salt is just so heavily shielded. But you know what, resources is resources, and I cleared Expert, so I'm getting a decent ranking. And then next up we have Arena. I'm definitely not going to push to GM3 last minute, because I don't have Silent Salt, and Silent Salt's the second newest cookie, so there's no way I'm pushing to GM3 without nearly whale stats. And on top of that, I need time to make myself familiar with matchups. And time is something I do not have because daily reset is in like 2 hours. So Elite 2, that's good enough with a ragtag team. Try pushing a little bit further, but the game said no, so time to finish off the last loose end. Alliance. Remember to always at least make backup teams for things like this. I need to fix up my artifacts a little bit and then make an actual backup team, just in case that happens again. But yeah, the comp I'm currently running for the previous Alliance season is a 2-team comp, one with Creme Brulee, with Doyle and Minchoco, and PV and Ferret, and Team 1 is a standard stat check team. Hollowberry, Eternal Sugar, White Lily, just high rarity, high damage, high stat cookies, which are good enough to clear. Not really aiming to do an electric clear because that takes effort and tickets and resets, and that is something I do not have at the moment because daily reset when I did this was in like half an hour. And the treasures on the first team are Watch, obviously, Blue Necklace, and Torch because Torch is big damage amp for Fire Spirit. And now we have the last team. I made a big mistake here. I casted Creme Brulee once to get one Accelerando stack, and then I thought that just basics and Minchoco skill and pure vanilla skill was enough damage. It was not, so I had to end up casting Creme Brulee after way too long, wasted a ton of time. And even then, the stalling was kind of pointless. I just needed to cast Creme Brulee, and just 2 seconds off of having another skill when I entered the wave. Plus, he's at 3 Accelerando now. I did need to stall for at least 1 Accelerando stack, otherwise there's just too much ramp up time and the team dies before dealing substantial damage to the boss. And then Minchoco's there for attack speed, Pure Vanilla for defense, Creme Ferret for Cream Ferret, and then Doyle because I don't have Financier built on this account, so best option for the above immunity it is. But unfortunately, this boss was a bit annoying. I probably should have used Blue Necklace here, but I thought the Napmake Resist would come in handy. But if it works, it works. Even though it barely did, but it still worked at the end. And yep, there goes my team. All of the attack scaling from Alliance has done its thing. So it's time to start using my backup teams to chip off a few bits of health, since the backup team is coming in after the boss has ramped up a lot from the attack up. Yeah, we have revives, we have immortality, all that jazz. And then it's time to use our main team with decent-ish damage. And we're actually getting super low on the timer. We've only done like 30 million damage in the past half a minute. So yeah, the crit damage debuff is brutal, but it seems like we're on pace. And not even close, exactly 10-minute clear. There we go. That gives us the ranking for clearing hero mode. That gives us the 3 super epic soulstone chests. And that's about it. If you enjoyed the video and you want to stay tuned for episodes 2 and 3, probably, like, subscribe, do all that jazz, and see ya.